Yo, guys and goddesses, peace and blessings. God bless. It's your boy Prophet Williams, man. Um, Another words of wisdom. It's May 19th, 2013. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm here to drop this next lecture and video. And I'm always trying to keep your third eye open, trying to get your third eye open. I can't say keep your third eye open because the people third eye open was out here, we be alright. But trying to get it popping for you, man. Because that's what it's all about. Everybody's a slave to the dollar, and ain't nobody true spiritual mind open. Ain't nobody true God mind open. And that's what the dollar bill represents when it has the eye decapitated from the pyramid, because this is their symbolism of them stealing the ancient knowledge and the God knowledge from the world, because they know that the mind is the only eye, that the mind is the only true eye. These don't know anything. These don't know shit. These are just windows, just lenses for the spirit to look out of and appear, but the mind is the one that puts it all together. The mind is the one that knows everything, that adds everything up, and the mind is the one that receives all these messages, So that's ultimately what the I stands for in the dollar bill. So in this video, I wanted to tap on, and as always, but by now, you should know that words of wisdom and these things are all about, going into the things that we never think about. These videos are about asking the question that we don't ask, because that's what it's all about. It's all about the questions we don't ask. It's all about the things we don't think about, and it's all because we're not taking the time to listen, and we're not exercising the intellectual integrity to research and challenge, and go and find out those things that we find incredulous, or those things that we find to be a little above beyond belief, or whatever. We can't, like as I always say, the worst thing any man could do, the most ignorant motion in life, is to shake your head at something and you don't have the facts. Here we exercise the intellectual integrity. Man, bring your notes. You know what I'm saying? Like every day, I work hard. And I take notes and I educate myself. I read. I do everything. From anybody next to me can tell you this. That I go great lengths to bring you this information. So and I also do great meditation, to bring this information as well. So anything that I say, please write it down, comment, whatever, and we can make it happen, baby, because this is all on us, man. This is all on us. You feel me? So my video today is gonna be entitled "War Games Equal Word Games and Mental Programming." That's war games equals word games and mental programming. So I want everybody to understand the word games of America, understand literature. My favorite subject, because I'm a rapper, as people know. Like that was my first love, was artistry, rapping, metaphor, just loving the art. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have a true relationship with the English language, you wouldn't understand the matrix and the prison and the mental prison that we have been locked into. And it's important to understand the way that everything that a lot of things that you are entertained by is actually psychological, conceptual training, and ultimately the things that we listen to and the things we watch ultimately solidify our perception of one another. So we have to be very careful, and we have to be very aware of the things that we intake, the images that we intake on the TV, as well as the music that we listen to. We have to be careful in analyzing all of these areas. So that's why I'm bringing this to you, man. On war games, word games, and mental programming. You know what I'm saying? Now let's talk about first off, let's talk about just the history Let's talk about the history books. Let's talk about the history books. And that's why I say word games, because, white people are very emotional when I have my little shit going on, when I have my little lectures going on, and I talk about, all the atrocities and all the crimes that white people have committed to humanity, that Europeans have committed to humanity amongst themselves, amongst others. This nation was this nation was baptized in the extermination of the indigenous red man. And this nation was baptized in the slavery of my ancestors as well. So for people need to understand that in these books, that white people get white people are exalted because of the separation provided through American education and through the history books. That's why I mention the history, because if you go back, and even right now, if you go to these classes, if you go back, man, none of them books have white man or white people in those books. But you do have, you have blacks, you have this, whenever it's white people, it's some kind of term with it. The Southerners, the Northerners, the Europeans, the British, the French. You feel me? But every time, it's talking about the blacks, they're just the blacks. They're not the Africans. Not really the Africans, but they're the blacks. And this type of thing has kept white people racist with the whole world, because even from the textbooks all the way to the news that you receive on TV, they never say white people. They always say Americans, or and shit like that. But they always say, the blacks here. They always say, the Mexicans here, the Chinese here, the Asians here, as if the black people here aren't American, as if some Chinese people that are born, as if there aren't Chinese people that are born here, as if there aren't Mexican people that are born right here, Puerto Rican people born right here that are American. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand the separation that they apply just by their use of words. You understand? Because just like I say, through the history books, separation has been applied, because you always keep. They've always made a deliberate attempt to keep black people separate from America. You understand? Black history. They put black history to the side for a month, and they, and don't even really do that now. Don't even really say, it's superficial black history. The black history that they put on, it's superficial with the Martin Luther King and all the common names. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the real, true, in-depth, true black world history. Black history isn't something that started in America. Black history is a world history, might I add. But these are things that they sit to the side for a month, and they'll call it black history, as opposed to just putting the things, putting the black struggle, in putting the black struggle in American history books. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important for people to understand that, everything that black people went through was in the struggle of what is now America. You know what I'm saying? Actually, what black people, the Africans' blood, those who struggle for freedom were the Africans. The whole concept of freedom is born from African blood. It wasn't born from the founding fathers' pen. You understand? And that's why I'm saying, the word games, war games and mental programming, because people got to understand, the backwardness, man. How can America be the freest country on the planet if we are the number one we have the number one incarceration rate on the planet? Like, how can the founding fathers give the world freedom and they all own slaves? You know what I'm saying? This is the type of mentality that the nation has been baptized in. This is the type of violent war backward mentality that the whole nation has been doused in our children. We continue to send our children through these brainwashing cycles in these schools. As opposed to educating ourselves and understanding nobody is gonna truly teach us better. We have to get ourselves out of this matrix. So, now now that I've covered a good bit on the history books and how that has been a great deal of mental programming, I would like to talk about the media and the TV, and how it hurts us all. You understand? Black TV has never been written by black people. Has never been written by black authors. No black TV show, JJ Good Times, The Family Matters. None of these TV shows were written, came were facilitated through African minds. You understand? So the whole image, or Sanford and Son, none of these were ultimately dictated by the African mind. You understand? And through the lens, and through the eye of the African people. None of these were produced through that consciousness. You understand? All of these TV shows that all these TV shows we grew up on, like I say, from Family Matters all the way to all of them.